Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel again. Today we have a new trend that's probably going to die in about 3 minutes from now, so I better get this video out quick. It's the Amazing Digital Circus Episode 3, Mystery of Mildenhall Manor. These episodes just keep getting better and better every time, so, let's just see what good old Gooseworks has in store for us this time around. So, let's just start immediately. So, it starts with Pomni and holding her breath to see what will happen, because everyone else has something different when they hold their breath for too long. For instance, Gingle's mask starts spinning, like, whoa, I'm not going to do it right now. That'll probably be too revealing. But, then Kinger starts glowing, and Jax refuses to show his because he's a coward. Like, that's directly quoted from the episode. Then as for Pomni, she starts glowing every color of the rainbow. Very nice. Anyways, then Kinger starts setting up his latest adventure, the Mystery of Mildenhall Manor! And, basically it's just a haunted mansion. God, they had every opportunity to make a Murder Joe's reference in this. Gooseworks, why didn't you make a Murder Joe's reference into this? Come on, we're starved for content. You should know how hungry fandoms get for new content after like a month. But then once we get there, Pomni clarifies for us that she doesn't really handle jump scares well. To which Jax proceeds to immediately pull a minor jump scare, and it terrifies her. And then he does the undying face. But, Then we get an appearance from Ghostly, who is going to be our guide today. He shows us that there are two doors. The normal door, which, pretty easy route. And then there's the spooky door, or whatever it's called again. That's the door that, Pomni and Kinger end up going through. And, it's also where Jax pushes Gangle's comedy mask, because we cannot get a single episode that's just happy Gangle. Come on. Gooseworks, I know you've already written out the script for episode 3, so, for episode 5, could you please just give us the full episode where Gangle's mask doesn't break? Maybe that could be his episode, because it is said that everyone's going to get their own episode at one point. I mean, this one's for Kinger. Oh yeah, Kinger's now one of my favorite characters. But, Anyways, everyone but Pomni and Kinger end up going through the normal door because they are normal. But, cut to, Kane looking for Zubul. And then, he just teleports Zubul in and, questions why they keep skipping all his adventures. And then, boom! It turns into a therapy session. Yay, therapy. We all love that. But, Zubul would obviously rather, not discuss that stuff. But, But that's mostly because she's already said their issue, but Kane just never remembers. But of course, Kane's mind is a beeswax polished coconut. So, he wouldn't forget if he knew. But he did forget, and he did know. But, he does ask how to make his adventures more appealing, but, of course, it's always with him and his adventures. But, Zubul's problem has nothing to do with them. It's, they don't say it here because, Kane's probably not listening, which, nope, he's trying to cool me. Kane is so silly. I feel like he's gonna become the sin of the Amazing Digital Circus, just the silly. Or maybe that's Jax, I don't know. It's either gonna be Kane or Jax. I have no idea. I'm just stupid and here for the ride. But, now we come back to the Mildenhall Manor! Specifically, Kinger and Pomni are main group for this episode, and, But, cut back to Kinger and Pomni, and, they fall into a room with all these spooky faces, as well as this one. And then we get a little context in the form of a tape from a man called Baron Theodore Mildenhall, who, basically, He is a hunter, or was a hunter. Eventually became a bit of an obsession of his, especially with capturing the creature with the head that's on this wall, this one. And eventually, he did manage to kill it, take its head. However, still a slight feeling of unease, like it's still watching him. Did I mention this is the scariest episode yet? Because I feel like I should have mentioned that. This is kind of like the cabin fever of the Amazing Digital Circus. Kind of where the spooky factor ramps up. Maybe that's mass destruction. Never mind, I'm an idiot. But anyways, then Kinger and Pomni decide to find a way back upstairs. And first they try a door and nothing behind it. Then they try a elevator actually the elevator needs a key. Then they find a tape saying to not let that head out of your sight. Quite inconvenient lore placement, I must say. But then the lights go out and very well drawn to the eyes. But then the head appears. And they also find the key to the elevator, and they barely unlock it and escape in time. But yes. But anyways, cut to Kinger and Zubul arguing like an old married couple before Zubul finally explains her problem.
I don't like myself. I hate this body. I hate all these stupid removable pieces. I just want to find something that feels good.
Anyways, I relate way too hard to Zubul in this scene, and I hate it. Anyways, back to quirky little stuff. Kane actually made Zubul a little box of detachable limbs, which is how she keeps changing appearance throughout every episode. It's very cool of him. Fortunately, she still can't find something that suits him. And she also drops a bombshell that nobody likes Kane's adventures. Ragatha's too nice to say anything. Jax just wants to screw with everybody. Gangle is too shy. Kinger's insane. And Pomni just looks traumatized whenever she comes back from an adventure. Then Kinger says, "Hey, this is my art. It's the only thing I'm good at. You're blind that I'm not good at the only thing I'm good at." But then, yeah. We're kind of forgetting whose therapy session it is, Kane. But, after the whole reality sort of breaking down for a second thing, Kane realizes, oh yeah, this is for you. And then shows her an ink blot with his face in it. Honestly, Zubul's reaction here is justified. But, cut back to Pomni and Kinger, who have fallen into a cellar because the elevator wouldn't work. Or maybe it did work, it just went downwards. But, anyways, then they see a rotting corpse on the ground with a shotgun and a tape in front of it. And it turns out that Baron shot his wife in fear. And then it's not the head that comes out, it's actually the creature's headless body. And then they end up shooting both the head and the creature body. And it turns out it was actually one of God's angels. So now they're going to hell. What a prank, Kane. But, then we cut to Ragatha, Gangle, and Mrs. Mildenhall's ghost all sipping tea and talking about the whole, her husband shooting him. Sorry. And, Meanwhile, Jax is all tied up like he's a hostage. Honestly, he deserves that. But, anyways, cut from that, back down to Pomni and Kinger, who are literally in hell. Like, they're literally in hell right now. But, Kinger is surprisingly the one trying to calm Pomni down. Not exactly what you'd expect from someone like Kinger. But, anyways, Kinger and Pomni both notice a little hallway, and, Kinger just plucks his eye off and rolls it down, seeing that, there's conveniently a staircase out of hell. And, he mentions that they should probably be careful, and Pomni just decides to go through quickly, but ends up getting possessed by Mildenhall's ghost because he did say that he would use one of their bodies to escape, which King ends up using his detached hands to pull Pomni back and use his shotgun to beat Michael Mildenhall out of it. Wait, it's not Michael Mildenhall. Where did I get that from? Why am I calling Michael Mildenhall? But he ends up beating the ghost of Mildenhall out of Pomni. Of course, Mr. Mildenhall pulls "How's your wife?" And and they end up sitting for a bit, and Pomni notices that Kinger's a lot more calm than he usually is, and Kinger explains something. They finally make him having an abstracted wife canon. And, well, they don't explicitly say who, but it is probably Queenie, considering they're both chess pieces. And, he sees that the darkness of the pillow fort they were in kind of calmed her for a bit, so they could just hold each other one more time before she was sent to the cellar because she abstracted. It's actually kind of sad, honestly, but it does also have some very interesting implications. It actually implies a lot about the abstracted, and it does imply that maybe there's, I don't know, maybe a way to save them. I mean, if you can find ways to calm them for a while so you can kind of reach out to the person who was inside, maybe they can save the abstracted? I don't know. Maybe they're gonna build on this in a future episode, or maybe let's look at it dropped fast from J.C. Jensen. Who knows, really? But I do hope they keep on with this. But anyways, after they sit there for a bit and talk, they finally hold their breath because Mildenhall did say that the next breath they take down there will be their last. And so they hold their breath and walk out of hell together. That was very wholesome. But Jax, Ragtha, and Gang were just waiting up there for Kinger and Pomni to get there, and eventually they do make it. Unfortunately, Kinger did forget the comedy mask. But then as they escape, cut back to Kane and Zubul, and now Zubul's the one giving Kane therapy. But hello, joke aside, they're back up, and for once, Pomni isn't completely traumatized. She actually seems kind of happy, for once. And that concludes their little adventure. Well, that was very nice, fluffy, and wholesome. Well, we certainly learned a lot in this episode. We learned that Kinger stays in his little pillow fort to, because it reminds him of the last time he and his wife saw each other. We learned that Zubul is kind of, I think it's dysmorphic about herself. I don't know what the term would be, but, anyways, we also learned a little lesson from Kinger to, appreciate your loved ones, because they could be gone at any minute, and you wouldn't even see it coming. But, anyways, I really liked this episode. It added a lot more depth to Kinger and made him possibly my new favorite character, even beating Jax. Speaking of which, there was not enough Jax in this episode, and it made Zubul, unfortunately, one of the most relatable characters to me, and I absolutely hate it. I hate it. But anyways, that little joke aside, that was a pretty good episode, wasn't it? Anyways, just remember, take a little less from Kinger. Appreciate your loved ones while they're here, because you don't know when they're going to be gone. Goodbye, everybody.